Hi, I'm Adam Kinsmiller, and I'm here with Board Game Geek TV at Gen Con 2013, and I'm joined by Kimberly Tolson, and we're here to talk about Spyrium. Kimberly?
All right, so Spyrium is a really great game for player interaction. That's one of the things I like about this game a lot, because you're given at the very beginning of the game 3 workers, $8, 2 Spyrium, which I know the game's called Spyrium, but you actually use Spyrium to get victory points, and at the end of the game, it's kind of worthless if you don't exchange it for victory points or money throughout the game. And you get those, and what you're going to do is you're actually going to be placing workers on this grid. It's a 3x3 grid, and you're going to try and put your meeple next to a card that you think you might want to utilize in some way. Now I say utilize because some cards actually you cannot take with you and put in your player area. You're just going to use characters to get bonuses for Spyrium or for victory points. But the other 2 types of cards that you can actually get are going to be building cards, and they're blue, and they give you some sort of production or bonus throughout the game that really help you advance in the game and get more Spyrium, therefore more victory points. And the other are going to be these technique cards. And the technique cards are really, really great to have if you maximize the use. And so some of them give you bonuses where you don't have to pay particular money for meeples that are surrounding cards. Others give you extra money if you take the take money action. So if you grab the right cards with the right combination, you can really maximize your little work engine here. But the coolest part, I think, is that it's the placement. So let's get some guys out here. So let's say we've done the place worker action. Now you get to actually take off meeples. Now you get to do one of 2 things. If I take off a worker, I lay him down because he's tired, and I get to count the card that my guy was next to, and I get that much money from the bank.
So you could have chosen either of these cards, but this one had more around it, so that was the natural choice.
Exactly.
Okay.
So once I've done that, every time you take a turn, it just goes in clockwise order. When it comes back to me, I'm allowed to do another action. But this time I actually want to purchase a card, and I want to play it in my player area. What I've got to do is choose the worker that I want. I'll take this one. Now I have to actually count the amount of meeples that surround my card and pay $1 for every one of those guys, even if they're my player color, which can be a little tricky sometimes. You've got to kind of work when you do what you do. I also have to pay up in the corner the amount that it says there in pounds. Then I take the card and I get to place it in my area. If it's a green card, you can get as many as you want and they're all free. But if I get a blue building card, there's actually going to be a building cost. The first one's free, the second one is 1, 2, 3, 4, and on. So with buildings, you have 3 particular costs that you have to keep in mind. The meeples that surround the card, the card cost itself, and then actually placing the card.
Okay. So when you're placing meeples, you're not only taking into account the cards that you want, but also maybe I'm worried about blue getting this card, so I put this here just to make it more expensive.
Exactly.
Or I see that there's a lot of people there already, and I think I can cash in and get a lot of money.
Exactly.
So I put it there. So there's a lot of things that inform that decision.
And when you do what you do with your meeples is the trick. I mean, it's just
Sure.
fun, because do I take away this guy and leave that card free for someone else to get? Do I buy this card even though it's really, really expensive, but then I have like no cash for the next round? What do I do?
And I've heard that money is actually very tight in this game.
It's very scarce.
Yeah, you can't just do whatever you want and pay for it out of your coffers. You have to be very careful about that.
You have a very, very meager income at the very beginning, and if you ever get to raise your income, that's fantastic, but that's actually really hard to do as well. So every round, people are going to get $2, and so you'll notice that some of the cards cost 4, 6, 5, and you get $2 a round, you're going to have a really hard time getting money.
And that's 6 plus all of the meeples that are around.
Yeah, okay, exactly.
Right? So that can get very expensive for the good cards.
As the game progresses, you've got 6 rounds. At the end of a round, when no one else can place any more meeples, then you clear the board, draw new cards. The A deck has 3 rounds with 3 cards left over. The B deck, you're going to do 2 rounds, and then the C deck, you're going to actually have 1 round. So there's 6 rounds to the whole game, and considering you start with 3 meeples, which would be 3 actions, very few turns in the game where you're actually doing something, so you have to really maximize when you do what you do. And also there's going to be production and buildings that allow you to upgrade what you've done. They allow you to cover up existing cards so you can maximize your points. And again, ultimately, it's about transferring Spyrium into victory points and really just running around that track as fast as you can.
Sure. So to be effective, you have to be good at picking cards that work well together, but also managing where you place your meeples and when you take them off and all of that.
Keeping an eye on what other people are doing.
Right, so that they can't do things too easily or cheaply.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a very, very fun game. It's incredibly replayable. One of the things that go on the board right here are actually effects that take place during the game. And so you'll have a chance to take advantage of those particular actions as well. But it definitely makes the game replayable, diverse, and I just love the way that it's so interactive. I mean, you're not playing by yourself, you are playing with everyone else, and you can't neglect what other people are doing.
Great, and is this available now? When is it going to hit?
It's available right now.
Right now, so you can buy it from a store near you.
Yep, absolutely.
Excellent. And this is also designed by Willie Mattia of K-List fame, so it's got a great background to it.
Yes, I feel like this is definitely down the medium level strategy board game. And yeah, pull it out. It's going to take you an hour, so the first time through, just to kind of get the idea of how the game flows. But after that, if you've got seasoned gamers, you could knock this out under an hour.
Great. And how many does it play?
2 to 5. And I guarantee the 5-player game is fantastic. A lot of 2 to 5-player games.
It's not like tacked on to what should be a 4-player game.
Yes, exactly. I know. It's like it's a real good 5-player game because you've got all the meeples on the board and everybody's everywhere.
Crazy interactions going.
And cards are expensive. You get a lot of money. You're trying to get stuff and you're really fighting over things, and that's what makes it great.
Yeah, and I've actually played this game. I love it. It's a wonderful game. Another really interesting aspect is you can't just put and take whenever you want. You have to choose that you're not going to put any more out, and then you're going to start taking them off. So if you don't have any cash, I can't take a meeple off and get some cash and then put it down somewhere else and then use it to buy.
Because that would be too easy.
Exactly, it'd be way too easy.
You
have to see further ahead than that to be able to be successful. So yeah, great. That was
absolutely.
That was Spyrium from Asmodee.